Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congresswoman Kathy Manning. I represent the 6th District in North Carolina, and I co-chair the House Bipartisan Task Force to combat anti-Semitism, and clearly we have a lot of work to do. Just last week, the president and board chairs of Columbia University testified before a committee I sit on in the U.S. Congress, and they acknowledged the explosion of anti-Semitism at Columbia, and they committed to enforce new rules on protest to keep Jewish students safe. Sadly, since that hearing, the protests have become more extreme, more hostile, more threatening, with virulently anti-Semitic chants. Jewish students who are trying to study and get to class are targeted, harassed, and intimidated. Its rules. While free speech and the right to protest are an important part of this university's history, those rights must be exercised in accordance with the rules the school has established in order to prioritize the safety of students and faculty. Students who violate the rules must be held accountable in accordance with those rules, including removal, suspension, and expulsion when necessary if the rules are violated. Outside agitators who sneak onto campus must be removed and prevented from returning or harassing students outside the campus who are trying to get into campus. I have talked with Jewish students who feel threatened, isolated, discriminated against. Some have even been told to go home for their own safety. This is unacceptable. It cannot be the answer. Columbia must do more to keep Jewish students safe and to re-establish an atmosphere in which all students can learn, study, and participate safely in campus life. Columbia must also move forward with its promised efforts to teach its students and its faculty about the nature and history and dangers of anti-Semitism. It must ensure that Columbia professors are not encouraging and spreading anti-Semitism. I am deeply disturbed that these hostile and threatening protests are being implemented on college campuses across the country. I call on the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Justice to work with the White House to ensure that all universities take steps necessary to keep Jewish students and faculty safe. I also call on Congress to enact legislation to implement the steps outlined in the U.S. National Strategy to counter anti-Semitism, to address the scourge of anti-Semitism, which is a threat to the foundations of our democracy. I have just recently filed a bill to do just that. My colleagues have all signed on it, and I urge the Speaker of the House to bring this bill to the floor for a vote. Thank you. Happy Passover.
Excellent.